The air above Jerusalem feels heavy, as if the city itself is preparing for a truth too large for its walls. Ezekiel stands in a world that has been broken open by exile, a world in which the temple, the heart of Israel's identity, has become a memory carried like an ache in the bones. As he looks upward, he is not searching for escape, he is searching for understanding. And in that searching, the sky begins to move. It does not crack with sound, it changes in texture as though the veil between the invisible and visible thins. Ezekiel sees something forming above the crystal expanse he calls the firmament, the shimmering platform that hovered over the strange living beings he described earlier. The scene is not chaotic. It behaves like purpose taking shape. And then Ezekiel sees it, a throne, or rather, something that has the appearance of a throne, made not of wood or gold, but of stone that looks like sapphire, deep blue, almost alive with internal fire. To an ancient world, sapphire is more than a gem. It is the stone of kings, a symbol of authority, that belongs not to markets but to the divine realm. In Mesopotamia, kings sat on blue lapis thrones to signal cosmic endorsement. Here, Ezekiel sees the original, the template from which earthly power imitates. He is witnessing the true center of sovereignty. The throne hovers above the cherubim, those strange composite beings who stand at the intersection of biology and symbolism. Their multiple faces point toward the cardinal directions, reminding Ezekiel and every listener later that divine presence sees the whole field of human movement. Their wings pulse with energy, not like birds but like the impossible mechanics of a realm that does not obey gravity or limitation. His throne does not rest on pillars of stone but on living beings that respond to his will with perfect synchronization. If the heavens have an engine, Ezekiel is seeing it. And yet, hovering within this glory is something heartbreaking, because the vision does not arrive as comfort alone, it is also judgment. In later verses, the glory of God, the radiant holy presence, will move out of the temple. That departure is symbolic and devastating. It marks the withdrawal of divine protection from the city that had abandoned its covenant. Ezekiel is witnessing the consequences of generations of injustice, idolatry, and corruption. But, Ezekiel chapter 10 verse 1 is not the moment of departure itself, it is actually the moment when God positions himself to act. The throne above the cherubim is the seat from which decisions are issued, decisions that shape nations and generations. In this vision, divine authority is not whispered, it is displayed. The throne's sapphire glow reflects something deeper than beauty. In Hebrew imagination, blue is the color of the heavens themselves. When Moses and the elders ate in God's presence on Sinai, they saw something like a pavement of sapphire beneath his feet. That memory echoes through centuries and lands here in Ezekiel's vision. The blue throne is not simply decoration, it is geography. It anchors Ezekiel's viewpoint in the realm of ultimate authority, beyond empire, beyond temple, beyond exile. But really, what Ezekiel sees is more than color and form. It is theology in motion. The throne above the cherubim illustrates God's transcendence, his rule beyond the world, but the wheels touching the ground show immanence, his engagement within it. The vision challenges Ezekiel's generation, who believed God's presence was locked to a building they had already lost. The chariot throne says otherwise. God can move, and God is moving. Judgment is not abandonment. It is intervention. In this moment, Ezekiel becomes both witness and interpreter of symbols that will echo through millennia. Later readers will see connections to ancient throne room imagery in Babylonian and Assyrian art, winged guardians, hybrid creatures, cosmic wheels. Ezekiel borrows the visual vocabulary of empire, but rewrites its meaning. Those empires claimed cosmic legitimacy through art and architecture. Ezekiel's vision says, all their imagery points to a throne that is not theirs. All their power is derivative. All their claims to eternity crumble before the one who rides the storm. From a scientific perspective, modern minds might see the vision as the language of a man describing the indescribable. To Ezekiel, who lacks technological frameworks, the living wheels may resemble mechanisms, the cherubim may appear as biological forms beyond earthly taxonomy. The radiance from the throne may look like fire because fire is the most intense natural energy he knows. But Ezekiel is not writing science fiction. He is communicating an encounter that, honestly, just overwhelms categories. The imagery kind of compresses spiritual experience into physical metaphor because, well, that's really the only vocabulary humans have. As Ezekiel watches, he understands that the divine presence is not withdrawing in silence. God is acting visibly, audibly, and, decisively. The throne's position above the cherubim signals readiness, authority, and movement. For the exiles who will hear his words, this vision is, well, electric. They have lost homeland, temple, priesthood, and royal line, but Ezekiel brings a revelation deeper than despair. The true king has not been dethroned. The true throne has not been lost. The true presence is not absent. It is active. In the ruins of a world they thought permanent, this vision becomes an anchor. God's mobility means exile is not final. His sovereignty means injustice will not go unaddressed. His throne above the cherubim means that history is not a random sequence of empires rising and falling. It is governed. The sapphire throne hangs in Ezekiel's memory long after the vision ends. Its blue fire marks the moment he realizes that the center of the universe is not in a temple or palace, but in a God who refuses to be contained. And in the years to come, when he speaks to a broken nation, the image of that throne becomes his assurance. Despite all appearances, the one who sits above the firmament still rules, still moves, still sees, and still speaks.